Welcome to the best YouTube channel ever. Today's video is on Obscenities equal weak minds. Please subscribe to the best YouTube channel ever. We're back with another awesome video that's going to change your life. And if you're new to the amazing YouTube channel, then welcome to the page. Okay, I combine and I synthesize information on this beautiful channel on this beautiful day. Today's May 28th, currently 16:52. If you know military time, and topic of what's called obscenities. Okay, it's a fancy word for basically cursing. What does it mean to curse? Ugh, it matches my belt and my jeans. I've been in several situations with people where people want to argue with me and say, cursing is not bad, right? Wrong. For context, no, I don't curse. No. I mean, probably said, one word like one time in my life, literally. Grew up, was raised to, to not speak that way. Right? Having a strong mind is about emotional control and emotional maturity or emotional intelligence, right? It's about controlling ourselves under difficult and very stressful situations. When you have a confrontation with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, can you maintain your cool? Are you going to raise your voice? Are you going to start saying, I don't effing care. I don't give a F about this. I don't give a F about that. I don't give a F about your ham and cheese sandwich. The moment you say the F word is the moment your relationship is about to die. And you can ask anybody who is in a relationship with somebody who uses the F word or the S word or any cuss word for that matter. And I can guarantee, I'm 99% sure that eventually either one, they're going to change, or two, the relationship's going to die, because it just is the way it is. Your words have power. There's a reason why in the Bible it says to not be concerned with what necessarily comes into the mouth, but rather what comes out of the mouth. Are you using your words to bring life or death? Are you saying words like the F word? It doesn't matter how you use it. It's just the fact that you say it. Right? So this is the thing. When a person curses, or they curse, right, or they cuss, it is a direct indication that they are processing and feeling and thinking on a lower vibration. And they are in a state of reactivity and emotionally, rather than processly thinking. In the military, they do train how to think and how to handle stress. Okay, I talk about it in one of my videos on how they're trained to handle themselves under stress. That's why they have to be taught how to breathe. Because your breathing, folks, yes, your breathing affects you. So the next time you're in a heated conversation or you're having a difficult time processing how you're feeling, what you need to do is you need to stop and breathe. Now, some people may say, oh, well, that's so easier said than done, Yelena. I don't know how to breathe. All you got to do is just take a moment and take a step back. Sometimes you want to use your hands. This is a very powerful thing. Okay, I'm going to show you. You're gonna learn today. What you're going to do is next time you're tempted to cuss, what you're going to do is you're going to take a step back, put your hands together, take a big breath in, hold it, and then exhale. You're going to do that 5 times. Okay? Because when you are stressed and when you're angry and you want to use the F word to show the world how emotional you are, even though you look weak, you will notice that the breathing will help calm you down. Okay, it will calm you down. That's what you need to do. You need to calm down, control the blood that's boiling in your body when you're angry or upset or frustrated, and breathe. Take a step back, put your hands out like this, push the energy away, and say, now don't do it that aggressive, but you have to take it a little slower. 1, 2, 3, hold it, and push away. Push the energy away. Okay? This is the key, folks. Because when you curse, You're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting those around you. You may not see it, but you are. Okay? And now when you're around somebody you love, you care about, your friends, your family, it doesn't matter how you use it. Whether you use the F word for funny reasons, whether you use the F word in an argument, that's the worst time to use it actually, or just in regular conversation. Okay? It's not good to use it. Okay? Obscenities are a symptom of a weak mind. If you want to go ahead and show the world that you're weak and that you can't, sustain yourself or those around you under difficult and stressful situations, you might as well just do it, because then people are just going to know everything about you and just show that you're a very vulnerable person. Why are you going to do that to yourself? You don't want to do that. You want to show a sense of groundedness, right? You want to show that you're able to keep yourself grounded. No one's telling you they have to go and be Yelena confident, like Yelena confident, have 35-inch biceps. No one's telling you to have freaky traps like Yelena, to have some sort of state of being grounded. Okay, and how do you accomplish staying grounded? It's by breathing. It's by breathing. And here's the kicker. No one might have told you this in your life. Okay? Because a lot of people, what they tend to do is they tell themselves, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad. And guess what happens? They get mad! You're getting mad. All you have to do is tell yourself, I'm calm. I'm calm. I'm calm. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Now, some people may argue and say, oh, well, Yelena, that's just how I talk. That's just how I talk, right? I'm just a passionate talker. I just speak, and I just speak whatever's on my mind, right? That's their argument. To justify them cursing. Well, let me tell you something, honey. That's not how you talk. That's how you choose to talk. There's a difference. It's like walking around and, with 100 pounds overweight and saying, oh, that's just how I am. No, that's not how you were. You didn't come out the womb 100 pounds overweight. You chose to be overweight. You chose to be, whatever it may be. Okay? It's a choice. You can choose. You can decide. You have the power. Okay? But the question is are you willing to take control? This is the thing. Obscenities are an indication of reactive thinking. Okay? I'm going to make a video talking about the different types of thinking. Okay? There's two types of thinking. Reactive, proactive. Right bicep, left biceps. Okay, you have reactive, which is obviously when you react to the situation. In other words, when a situation comes up, you just, boom, you just think of what you want to say, and then you just say it on the spot. This is very dangerous, especially when you're having an argument or a conversation or discussion with a loved one, because emotions can rise, and if you don't have self-control and self-awareness, you're going to say things that you're going to regret later. Okay, whereas proactive thinking is anticipating the problem before it arises, so you can prepare yourself for when the problem does arise. You're not surprised. You were prepared. You mentally prepare yourself, and you tell yourself, you know what? I'm ready for this because I prepared, and I'm going to take a step back, reassess, recalibrate, and go back in. Okay? But unless you do that, and unless you have the self-awareness of how you behave and how you talk, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle with this obscenities, or in other words, cursing, for a very long time, until you're willing to admit that the way you talk is not okay. Because this is the other thing. I can sit here, or anybody can sit here, your mom, your dad, your sister, your friends can tell you to stop cursing. But until you see it as a problem, you will not change that behavior. That's the thing, is that you have to see it as a problem. Now, if you don't think it's a problem, then that's a different conversation. If you know anything about nihilism, okay, nihilism, not being nihilistic, it's rejecting all religious principles and the belief that life is meaningless. Okay, this is a very dangerous place to be in, because it can lead to, suicide, right? The feeling that nothing in this world makes any sense, and what's the point of living, right? And so therefore you conclude in your seemingly valid argument that cursing has no significance and that it's not a big deal. But let me tell you something, honey. There's a thing called God, there's a thing called spirits, and there's a thing called heaven, and there's a thing called hell. And when you start talking and you start using curse words, what are you attracting? You're attracting that. You're attracting that nihilistic type of view, or I should say you might be coming from that nihilistic type of view where you don't even realize that you are in it. That's the thing, is that you have to be self-aware to understand that the cursing is associated with that nihilistic way of thinking, or that reactive way of thinking. Some people may argue and say, well, I'm Christian and I curse. Well, if you're Christian, you shouldn't be cursing. But even if you're not Christian and you don't believe in anything, you shouldn't be cursing to begin with, period. Now, there may be situations, such as in life and death situations, where you have what's called righteous anger, in which you feel that you have every right to use the F word under really difficult situations. Can that be granted? Would that be acceptable? Would that be approved, perhaps maybe by God or maybe by your higher self? I don't know. That's a question for you to ask yourself. Okay, but a lot of modern nihilism, okay, is becoming focused on this idea that cursing is an imaginary problem, when it's not an imaginary problem. Okay, eventually the cussing is going to catch up to someone that you're conversing with and make them feel uncomfortable or make them feel disrespected, because you have you're not being considerate of how that other person is feeling, regardless of what happened. Because yes, we do live in a life where there is nothing without consequence. In other words, everything you do, everything you say, there will always be a consequence, positive or negative. Okay, even if you think what you're doing is the best decision you can do, there will still be a consequence. If you're going to make a decision, you might as well make a good one. And why make a good one with curse words? It makes no sense. You might as well make a good decision by choosing not to curse and by choosing to be composed, controlling your emotions, and avoiding those curse words. Those curse words typically will show a weak mind. The next time you want to curse, I would challenge you to talk to yourself and calm yourself down. Learn to be reflective and have self-awareness. Okay? Because once you do, you will master thyself. And it is through mastering ourselves or thyself where the magic happens. Subscribe to the best YouTube channel ever!